G'day gamers and welcome back to Nuclearies. I got a special for you today. The main goal to show you for this episode is the creation, the effects and all that sorts of stuff of the iodine, the xenon, all that sorts of things by writing some times down, showing you the actual cause and effects after the 6 and 9 hour half-life they both have, and actually go over here and show you the gauges moving when we do all of that and more. So let's just get that chemical pump started. The boric acid will have the combination of the control rods and the boric acid, as everyone has requested it on my previous episodes. So that's what the main sort of goals are for today. I may even try and take out a loan at some point just to try and get loop 2 in and ready for you to see how it all works, and then maybe next episode we can do like a full shutdown when we actually need to, so I can show you how it all works with the xenon. All of a sudden should be boosted when we are shutting down. All that and more. We got the pressurizer on. I want to start this up as soon as I possibly can, so let's get it on the road. So T H Alt and right click, let's get the tab, let's start operations. We might as well. All right, from left to right, let's get it on going. Where are we? Let's get that and this and twisty. I think 45. Only about 6,000 kilowatts to get 90% service compliance. Yeah, I think that should be okay. Let's get yay, and might as well get this on to there without turning it off just yet. And the vacuum pump start. And we might as well get the condenser running so I don't forget about it later on. And we should get about 10 o'clock to actually get power out to the grid nice and fast. What I might do is I might speed up the time just a little bit, just so we can speed up time and not wait so long, obviously, to get to 80 bars before we start increasing the temperature in our reactor and all that good stuff. So let's go in here. 10, no problemo. Awesome sauce. 80 bars. Let's get it on going. 90. Excellent. So we've got the condenser. We've got that one to fill that, because that's perfectly fine. They pull from both unlimited water sources. The vacuum's nearly done. Boric acid is still going into the internal loop. I'm just waiting for this vacuum very, very quickly so I can turn that off and literally forget about it forever, as I will never need to do that again. 137, 39, yep, good. I'll just go around and do a double check. Many updates like the thermal power over electric power in the background over the last couple weeks. May is just a really hectic time for me and my family, and it is what it is. I do apologize. But yeah, I will be showing you all the updates and how they all work, even though I haven't really learnt them myself. So I'll learn them, and then I'll share my findings with you on how to actually read them, because they've had many updates, this panel specifically. It's not what it used to look like. 107. So right now we're just waiting for this to get to 100 degrees, which we are already. That's fantastic. Let's turn that on right meow. Right meow. Yep. I might overcapacitize this just a little bit, just so we don't have so much wear and tear on our condenser. Because yes, I have tested it. You can shut down your condenser to do a maintenance repair through AO while your reactor is running. There's the episode up in the top right now. And I didn't write the time down, so I'm going to guess 9:20-ish is when we started increase the temp and the reactivity and all that.
Warning, danger alarm.
Yep, we are now off the electrical grid, and it is giving us a warning because we are producing power. Our resistors are on, so that's where the power is going to go before outputting to the grid. Otherwise, it'll internalize and destroy your turbine. That's not a good thing. You don't want that to happen. So what I might do, because we've got like roughly half an hour before we actually need to start outputting power and get this all stabilized, even though this is coming up right now, producing slight amounts of power, even though it's not showing up here, I'm going to open the bypass to 50% to slow that down and not produce as much power as what we should be able to generate. So that's still coming up. That's good. It's at 200 degrees. Let's turn... Oh, that's on 35 now. I thought it was on 30. That's fine. Let's turn off that condenser pump. Right there. Thank you very much. 250. Just wondering. I think I should tone it down just a smidge at 937. 937 at 93%. There we go. Just so we can refer back to it in 6 hours will be the first time that the iodine starts going over into that xenon, that nuclear reactor poison. So this is bad. This is... It's okay. It's still reactive. It's still okay to be in your reactor. But Xenon 135 is certainly not good. So let's just quickly come on over here. Temperature, all that. We're starting to produce a very small amount of power, which is perfectly fine by me. I'm going to open this by another 5. I think should be good because we don't want to overcapacitize the resistor and blow it up. This is what it's going to help us out, get a nice even service compliance out to the city grid. And it really makes outputting power to the grid a lot easier than honestly it really should be. So we're still increasing. Let's see if we can go this to 60%. Because I don't want to go anywhere close to that. And that's rather raising up quite fast. So let's go 65. And hopefully it'll start dropping down soon. How are we on the temperature? 300. The reactivity still okay. We got 400 degrees before we start getting alarm bells going off. So we're quite fine there. There we go. We're starting to come down ever so slightly. But as I increase this in a second, like right meow, that will start fighting it back up so I don't have to touch any of this. This should start, well, it will go down to begin with because we just changed it. But in a second or two, that will start coming back up again. Oh, already. There we go. We even caught it on cam for you. Excellent. Cool, cool. So I might even open this up another smidge. Just a smidge. Just a smidge. And we've got 11 minutes until we need to output power to the grid. We are almost there on the synchroscope already, which is A-OK in my books. I think it's 51.0 right here and 22,000, but this number will only show up once the time they gave you has passed. So that's what I'm waiting for now. I can't really do anything on this until that happens. So you might as well just get it all going. We did turn that condenser pump off. Yes, we did. The other one can just continue filling. That's perfectly fine. And it's about 3,200-ish is where the maximum amount of this you can put into the core at. So I might try and go a 50% on the rod height while controlling the reactivity and all that, using the filter pump to get rid of or adding more of the boric acid to remove or increase the, to decrease or increase the reactivity. So more boric acid makes this go down and makes that go down. Filtering it out obviously does the opposite. So 1066 might be an idea to get this back to 90. So that's 956. 956 at 90. 90%. There we go. I might even show you my really messy notes at some point flashing on the screen. So thanks to Editor Sharpie for that one. May or may not do that depending on how the bit of paper is, because chef by trade, my handwriting ain't the best. Let's come on over here before a minute so we can see this click on over. There it is. Hello. Excellent. So now is the time, and we can use the new hold the Alt button, and we can actually start raising this back up to where we need it to go. I'll let it spin, and then I'll see if I can try and nip it in the butt. 1, 2, and 3, and close that breaker. Fantastic. That's exactly how it's done now. It used to be through this way. Now you need to increase or decrease the RPM of the generator to match that while it's up the top with the 2 green bars. The last episode, I've been doing a lot of testing, and that is how this is done that way. So right now, we're outputting power to the grid. The resistors aren't taking all the grunt. We can just dump all these turbine bypass valves and continue on actually outputting all the power we were supposed to be generating out to the grid. So that should bump up really, really, really fast, which will be rather nice. And we're only 6 minutes into the hour, even though between 10 and 11, so obviously the time they gave you here and the hour after it, they will not pay you whatsoever, because that's your stability kind of period. Any hour after that, there will be a service compliance that will come up in the objectives. So I'll quickly run around the plant at some point. I just want to get a perfectly stable reactor here. So let's see if we can go to 85 at 10:09. 10:09 at 85. Cool. This is just for my notes later on that we will be referring to. And I think about 1500 and 1600 hours should be the main time of this should be coming over there. So we're not really producing a lot because we've got somewhat nice stable use of the fuel. So we're not really producing too much of either of them at the moment. It's whatever we have already created that's in the core at the moment that we need to deal with. So it's only 0.3 on this one, but it's also 6.3 on this. So it's 21 times more that we'll need to actually, at the same time, Half-Life over to the Xenon. And eventually the Xenon into cesium, which doesn't exist just yet in the game. So once the Xenon goes, that's it in the game. 347. Let's see if we can get this out to 75. I was going to do 70, but yeah, 75. 1016. All right, cool. Wrote that one down nice and quick. We're producing more than enough power than we need to. And since we don't need our internal generator, since we are actually producing our own power nice and stably, I'm going to turn the internal generator above our heads off, just like that, and not actually use any fuel. There we go, nice and easy. So worst case scenario, we can turn our batteries on as our generator automatically turns on if anything goes wrong in the background, like our turbine explodes or something, or they kick us off the grid, then our turbine explodes. Because the resistor and all that. So yeah, it's not a good time. Not a good time. All right, we are actually rather quite stable. And what I might do is I'm going to do a quick save. I'm not really going to do too many jump cuts. Output to grid. Yeah, just something that I can remember where I can go back to, because if you are curious, I do have a lot of hacked save games, either in chemicals or without chemicals, that you can go over to my Discord in the description below and download those save files. Just note, it does start on day 0 with absolutely everything unlocked, unlimited money, all that sorts of stuff. The city's grid just will not be expecting as much power as you can definitely give them with all upgraded 3 loops, etc, etc. So I might be able to show you at some point how to quickly change the XML, which if I can pause this, let me just quickly jump cut into the save game. So what I can do is open up my notepad, even without doing a quick jump cut, and I'm going to copy this right here. This will all be in the description below as well. Press Windows R, copy and paste that highlighted thing in there, and press OK. Just quickly changing that so my computer's name and all that don't show up too much. This is your save game folder in this location right here. I'll just move it over. Go into your save games. Whatever one is up to it, make sure it's sorted by whatever you need be. I usually go by date modified. Open it on up, and you can highlight this one for the money and XP. Go back to the notepad in Windows, Control F, Control V to paste it there, and find next in the down. Right here. So this one here, and This one here will need to be changed to actually have unlimited money. So I'd just put $1 billion there and $1 billion there, and you're perfectly fine. What you need, or what level you would actually need to unlock or be able to buy anything in game, is level 10. So just change that one to level 10, and that's all you need. Do not change your experience. It is not needed in any way, shape, or form. The logistica and the logistics is really quite confusing, and in game it needs to go to those each set times at 12 o'clock, 1500, 1800, and once everything gets installed, you need to see those times ticking over in game for that to work. It's just what happens in the background. So very quickly, let's go to the time, the AMBIENTE, and over here, let's go Control F. I'll paste that there in the up direction. If it doesn't come up, and because you're up the top, just like this, make sure it's in the down, as there is only one of these words found in this whole save file, or in any of them really. So in the save game we currently are in, it's 10:23 when we save the game in the background you see there. All you'd need to do is change this to 24-hour time. So midnight would be 2400 or 000, or you just put a 0. It's quite difficult, whatever it may be, worst time to choose. But if it was like 11 o'clock in the morning, you change that to 11. And if it was 55 minutes past 11, you change that to 55. DS is the day. So we are currently on day 0, as we can also see in the background on the right of our screen, just there, nice and easy. So with that out being saved, make sure you save any changes and all that sorts of stuff. But let's get back to the game and what we were doing. If I can get my mouse back, that'd be good. There we go. I can move around. I hate when it does that. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So we've done the quick save just there. I'm going to do a quick run around the plant. So the boric acid dosing pump is now overloading because it cannot put any more in it. So let's turn that off, and that should actually, yep, good. So now there's no more problems. We can't actually put any more boric acid in the actual internal loop because it is full, saying that gauge right there, nice and easy. So we've got more than 90%, just wanted to check that very quickly. And we need to dump out more of these control rods. So it's 931 and we're going to 50. Sorry, what am I talking about? It's 1032 at 50. There we go. Cool. Cool. So that should jump up the reactivity, not by a lot, or not as much as you think. And that should get us a nice stable time to filter some of the boric acid out and bring out the reactivity just a bit, which I think we may need to do. Might just skip the time so those control rods get set a little faster, because we are rather stable elsewhere at the moment. 1800 to 1900 is where you really want to be, so that's rather good. We've dropped our temperature rather severely, but at still above 300 degrees, more than enough to actually get operational temperature. So there's 50. I'm going to slow down the time. Come on over here, and I'm going to flick this onto 50%. So as soon as you turn this on, the gauge over there will jump up a little bit, and it will start moving back down again. We probably want to stop this at about 10.5-ish, and hopefully it'll stay there. But right now that pump is turning on in the background, and I'm going to stop this when we need to in just a second. Right about there-ish, I think. So let's do that for the next time we need to use it. It won't turn the pump on so much so quickly. That's why I put it on 50%, even though we didn't really need to use it. So 1072, it's still coming down, because the filter pump is still powering down in the background. So I definitely should have put a little bit more thought into that one. So let's just put 5 grams instead of 50. And that should actually bring it up, because we just filtered some of it out. Excellent. So let's just quickly look at that. That will start kicking in pretty soon, I think, at a rather reasonable time. So let's just speed it up a little bit and stop that when we need to. So let's just stop that right there and set. Excellent. Slow the time back down. 10.23. I am very, very happy with that. We're producing nice and stable power. All of this is good. I'm going to do another quick save. Going Walkabout Creek. What I usually do when I'm on the phone to someone. And I'm going to go upstairs, grab a couple things just in case anything breaks. Like the pressurizer did in a bug with a recent update a few weeks ago, which has now obviously been fixed. That was rather disturbing, that was, but we'll grab this one and we'll chuck some of that back in there so we don't have to worry about that in the future, and just jam that on back nice and easy. I'm going to grab the welder to fix the pipes. I'm going to grab the repair pliers for the cables and the electrode box that goes with the welder itself. Grab a couple of these ones. The rod controller also controls your boric, your control rods pretty much in your core. That's the motor that controls and moves that. So there's our inventory. Let's get rid of that little tooltip. The lights and all that have changed rather dramatically, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to open that up nice and easy so I can actually fill it. Brilliant. Another update. All the tanks actually have a fill gauge on them itself, which is a really, really good feature to be able to see what gauge and what fill level, if you can move anything in it, if you can take any out, and all that sorts of stuff, which is actually really quite nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn that on. That's already on at the moment, so I'm going to turn that on and that on. That's going to help us fill that tank and that tank. So let's see if we can get the speed up a little bit. There that comes. Excellent. So I'm not too worried about time at the moment, because we do need to skip 6 hours ahead after 9 o'clock, which I think is 1500. Yeah, so at 1500 to 1600 is when I'm expecting all of those iodine and xenons and all that sorts of stuff to like start half decaying, or half-life, as in whatever has been created, half of it at that time will have dissipated into the next set of bioproduct fuel. All right, cool. Turn that off, turn that off. Shut that down because we don't need it. Make sure we always reset what we change. And if we ever need boric acid in the future, that's where that is, right there, with a nice cool little bridge in the background. I really like that. And the boric acid, or the boric dosing pump, has always looked so cool. I don't know what happened to the purple texture on it. That's a little different. It's a little different. Let's see if we can run over. Let's go and get a little bit more money, because we've got a few objectives that we have in the background that we can get a little bit of cash money moolah. It is really bright in here, which I guess all of you in the YouTube compression and things like that is not complaining about. I'm sure of that one. Alright, that should be just about everything. Let's go back to the RCR, because the objectives are all done. Use your tablet to turn on the assistant. Let's turn him on, and let's do a maintenance analysis. Nice and easy. Good, good, good. Alright, cool. Oh, there we go. The lights just fixed themselves. That must be a slight glitch in the matrix. It's alright. That shouldn't be too long to be fixed. I'm sure of it, by the solo dev. Big shout out to you. We are loving this game so much. It is not even funny. It is such a good game, and you're adding so much all the time. 10:06. That's really rather good. I am loving that right there, that number. At what temperature are we at? And there goes the pressurizer automatically kicking in, even though you could actually pay AO to get this done automatically for you. So it's really interesting. So we're producing, if you know how to actually read this yourself, let me know in the comments below, because I will have to figure this out over off camera in between episodes. Yeah. Interesting, interesting, interesting. So we are generating a little bit, because we are a little bit above 10 point, or 10.0 even. So that makes sense right there. I'm just doing different maths and all that sorts of stuff on what I'm expecting in the back of my head.
Maintenance report is complete.
Cool.
You can check it from your tablet.
So what have we got? 99, 97, 2% on that. We are swimmingly well in this save at the moment. And no, I won't lie, this is my 9th attempt at trying to do this recording, for the fact that my mind has just been all over the shop and different updates have broken several things that one playthrough recording has changed to another, and I like to have a nice smooth operation so you can try and learn something in the background. So we're still waiting another 2 hours hopefully, and I might do a quick jump cut as I'm not really doing too much in the background, but obviously if I'm doing something I will show you. Temperature on that, all good. Yeah, I'm rather happy. There's not much to do. And obviously when you turn the panel off downstairs, it turns this one back off as well. So let's just flick that back. That should be a-okay. And obviously we flicked this external pump off, and then we'll just flick that back on again. The internal reservoir will need to be emptied out because that's how we can empty this out. So I'm going to fix that right now. I know I haven't done a jump cut just yet, but that's just what it is. So let's just, no, not close it. Other way, please, game. I'm in 3 times speed, so... Yay? How's that? I'll probably want to empty more of that out, to be honest. Yeah, I'll probably empty more of that out. All right, let's do a jump cut now. I'll see you in a sec at 1600 will when things kick off. Not exactly sure what that one was. According to me, that was an hour early. That jump right there. All right, what I might do, I'm actually going to do a quick load on the one just before we did a walkabout with the time skipped, and I'm going to go back and have a look at that properly. There we go. I'm just going to do another quick save because I did notice it popped in a little faster than expected. So I'm expecting the Xenon to spike up in its activity and its amount or concentration in the core of the reactor between the hours of 1600 and 1700. So 6 hours, the initial reactivity increase and start of the reactor. But I don't think that exactly happens per se. So around about now-ish, as soon as this starts spiking, I'm going to start slowing that time down. But our reactivity and all that is a-okay at the present moment. I may even just toggle this very quickly to check things out and just to keep this stable in the background. Oh, here we go. Here's... yeah, 1525. So that's 5 hours. As far as I'm aware. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 15 is 6 hours later. Yeah. Where the iodine 135 should turn into the xenon 135. So now this is coming up, yeah, technically an hour early. This isn't the first time I've seen this happen either. That's rather interesting. Let's see 2x speed. See how that goes. The iodine is definitely coming down because that's where the xenon is coming from. The decay or the half-life of the iodine, that's coming over as xenon. And that's what this is. So if it could, this would be in like a massive negative kind of graph right now because it's losing it at the moment as this is gaining. 873, 888, and this should... So I'm expecting probably this to be about 20-ish. It should lose about 10 or 15 points in the value on this gauge right here, as it should gain that over here. So remember, this started at probably like 1 or something. Interesting, very interesting. So yeah, I'll just slow the time back down again. There we go. I went to speed it up, but then I'm like, no, I'll stay at 2. So as you can see, it is dropping. Not as hard as I'd like. It's very interesting to see how the dev has done this in the background. Yeah, so let's speed the time up even more so we can actually see this happen faster. As that's dropping. So it kicked in. So 9:20 roughly is when we kicked the reactor on by turning it to 90% on the control rods. So yeah, that was an hour early, and now that's gone down. That's there, 29. Not exactly what I expected. But the next time it does something, you will see it. But let's do a quick jump cut until the next thing happens. Oh, which could be now. It's 9:48. 56 is when we turned it back up again. Yep, there we go. Yeah, so about 1700 is when we should really see the main bit of it. Here we go. As it's going up and over, that's when we kicked it up a notch. We went from, from 90 to 93, then down to 90, then to 85, 75, and then where we are now at 50. All within about 10 minutes of each other, roughly. Because the last 50% wouldn't have done too much in terms of this creation and this creation. Just double check on everything. Just do that. What time is it? 9:38. 17. 40%. Okay, cool. Let's just leave that there for now. That should bring it up a bit. Yep, perfect. Just for now, just so I can do some more testing in the background. 1733. Still producing more than enough power. That's all good over there to keep continuing on and having a look at this. As, yeah. So, 16, 17, 18, 1900 hours. About now, actually, is when we should see the Xenon, or at least the initial very small creation of Xenon should actually start dropping off rather soon. So this graph here should maybe go below or closer to this black line here. So 1679.83. It's going up. That's because it's still coming over. So we may not even see it actually have an effect to go down in value because it is raising so much still at what's the name? Or that might still haven't kicked in yet. Very interesting. Yeah, if you haven't noticed, numbers are my thing. Numbers do not lie. Unless they're wrong calculations, of course. Activity dropped a little bit, that's fine. 33, 32. No point ordering a second loop, because either way we'd need to wait until midday tomorrow for the order to be put through. Interesting. So yeah, we had a little bit of a dip. What I can do is this. Yeah, we've had a little bit of a dip and then it's gone back to it. And then this looks like it's somewhat stabilizing. Apparently the full stabilization of the reactor in the game is at the 14-hour mark. So that'd be like almost midnight or whatever it may be. I don't want to do too much more on that one. This is still... Oops, excuse me. This is still coming up. Yeah. Interesting. So I think now's the time I need to go and filter some of this boric acid out, which I can do very quickly now. Well, as it goes down, we're in 3 times speed, so it should work out well. And turn it off. What do we get? 10.8. That actually works out well for the fact that I need to bring this back up to 50, so 50. There. Cool. Stop that zoomage. There we go. That's a little better. That should bring it down. By doing that. Excellent. Yeah, 10.39. That's a little higher than I'd want. But that should be fine because we've got a lot of xenon in the reactor at the moment, which will start coming down. But as we've just increased the reactivity in our core, it's actually going to bounce into those xenon bits and kill some more of them for us. But at the same time, we're also creating some because we are above 10. Hopefully that makes sense. 370. Let's even get this to 60 for now. Just float her around. Yeah, that should be okay. As our pressurizer comes back up. And it looks like they're kind of wavering. Here we go. The xenon has... You see that little dip right there? That was because we increased the reactivity. So now it's coming back up to where it was before. This has definitely come down. And so has the concentration ever so slightly. I think just stabilized right there. And we are almost at 14 hours, just about. So at 2300 hours it will be, is the 14-hour stability on neither overcreation or undercreation of these two products while reactive and outputting power, etc., etc. Which has actually been rather good. 2486, 2489... 643. This should drop down overall. Is it dropping down? 44, 35, 25, 37, 28. I think it is dropping down. 18, yeah. Because it was at like 50 when we first started. Yeah. Yeah, so it's actually somewhat up and down, yeah. Very, very interesting how it's all done it. If I look at my notes very quickly, let me just flick on back to where they are. Where was it? Yeah, it's a 6.6 hour half-life of iodine 135 to be half-lifed into xenon 135. That's 6.6 hours of its creation. And the xenon 135 has a total of 9.1 hours it needs to have as its half-life to go into the cesium 135. That can just really just chill in your reactor, not really harming anything. It's the xenon or the xenon 135 specifically you need to worry about in the core itself. Xenon 136, nah, it's a completely different story, and the xenon 135 turns into the xenon 136 once it gets hit hard with some of that bouncing atoms and neutrons and that from the fuel itself, from the uranium stuff, the nucleoid. Not too sure if they've actually come down or not. I think they're really quite stabilizing out. So right about now is where we should have rather fair stability. And I know I am finagling with these things, but it is what it is. It's what I want. I really have an OCD of getting this to 360. It just makes a perfect circle, and it just makes perfect sense in my head. 168, 30 and 18. Maintain the integrity of all modules because it just clicked over midnight. That is actually really good. So that little hidden goal, and the reason why my primary coolant pumps are below 50%, they are currently at 45, is for that little hidden objective, which we did not get anyways. These ones here will only come in at the stroke of midnight. So that's why we got this one right here. So we've got 81%, we've got the 90%, the main standard one you get in normal mode, which I am always in. So overproducing electricity is a no-no. And yeah, minimum service, the integrity, and yeah, that's just about all of that, actually. That's pretty good, to be honest. I might actually just have a look around very, very quickly. We've got good on that, we've got all this. Shout out in the comments if you're actually enjoying the unedited. Like, I'll just upload this video as is. I'm not going to cut anything out. There might be some dead spots, but I'm sure you can figure it out and jump to where you want to. Or if you can, like the comment down below, share it with a friend. You are why I'm doing this, pretty much. So please keep this in mind. I do this for fun, and I really enjoy showing others my experience. And yeah, was a chef for 14 years, and now a gamer. Or at least for now. It's all dependent on you guys. So thanks for the support through all the years that I've been here so far. I think that's just about it on the stability. I think these gauges are all pretty flatlining. That's it. She's dead. Cut it off. Time it. 395. That's rather hot. There we go. Let's just bring that on down. Bring that on down. We're probably producing a bit more electricity. Yeah, nearly 9,000 now. And that's probably why this has dropped a little bit. But that's fine. The condenser's way underneath what we need it to be. We don't want a 3-mile island and get it above 100 degrees and all that sorts of stuff. Which, according to me, in this game, in operation, if I were to either open this valve or this one here, I'm pretty sure that's what would cause, as far as I'm aware, what happened in TMI. Along with many other things. I could be wrong in that one, though. Let me know in the comments if you agree with that or not, but I think we may actually end it right meow. That's such a cool little visual effect, that is. But yeah, as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that good jazz, and stay sharp till next time, as always. See ya. Let me know if in episode 2 you want me to just do a whole unedited version again. Let me know.